Hello there, it's me, Sergey Renjin. Since 2010, I've been helping architects and developers implement architectural lighting, and this video is about it. Since there are a lot of building types, there are also different techniques in architectural lighting. First of all, I recommended you to separate architectural lighting for urban projects and for suburban, because these things have completely different purpose and construction criteria. This video is about architectural lighting of urban buildings, so if you are interested in urbanism, construction or architecture, make some tea and let's go! Well, I constantly create and implement architectural lighting concepts in my studio. I've been doing this for more than a decade. I've noticed three very important fundamental rules that must be followed on all projects, otherwise implementation won't work. By the way, the most popular projects for architectural lighting implementation in our studio are either residential complexes or premium class business centers. Someone will say, "Ha, that's easy. You just take the architecture, break it down into pieces, component parts, emphasize right elements with lighting, and don't emphasize ugly ones." But it doesn't work like that. So, let's move on to those three fundamental rules. The first, and in my opinion super important criteria, is to determine the viewpoints. What do I mean? Architecture can be very different, from super originally designed and unique to just beautiful, modern and minimalistic. And almost always, the more interesting architectural solutions are, the more difficult it is to implement them in the land plot that the city allocates for development. That's why it's much more important to understand from which side this building will be seen than to highlight all the unique architectural elements. Keep in mind that this building can be seen not only by its user or its guest, but also car owners as well as all pedestrians. And this is much amazing and absolutely working marketing tool for the developer. The second, a super important criteria. No project would possibly work without it. It's competences in both architecture and lighting, knowledge of basic architectural principles. Volume and building symmetry will help you beautifully emphasize and implement the illumination idea. This is work of an architect, but the knowledge of types, lighting devices and real experience of their use, this is competence of the lighting designer. Without these competences, the idea, no matter who came up with it, the architect, the customer, the developer or the lighting designer, will be impossible to implement. You will need at least two of these people along with their teams. And third, the final but also very important skill for implementation, it's actually a rule, it's lightness. Lightness of the solution. Solutions should be simple. That's what I'm talking about. Just imagine 10-meter fading contour lighting system on a skyscraper. That's a very beautiful thing, and you can implement it in two ways. Either 10 controlled linear lamps, or one lamp, a good spotlight, super cool optics, and a good screening curtain. It's either 10 lamps or one with the same effect. This isn't only a matter of saving money, but it's also an integration issue. This is very difficult, so it's better solution to be simple. If you build a complex integrated solution on the facade, to be honest, I committed this when I started my career, then such project probably won't be implemented at all. You can come up with a super cool, absolutely awesome solution, but if the customer just realizes that it's difficult to integrate. In conclusion, I want to highlight a few more things that are critically important to remember if you have the intention to implement architectural lighting idea on the site at the very beginning of the project. You need to remember that architectural lighting has an emotional purpose. It doesn't carry any functional value. Functional lighting is navigation lighting, lighting for entrances, common areas, but not architectural one. Therefore, you should just decide in advance with the customer how much this option is needed for the project. For example, it isn't necessary for the comfort and economy class. People are there for the square meters and for the location also. But in premium segment, it's already have become a must-have. Hey! Another important thing to remember is that we create the light environment of the building, and you need to take into consideration both the architectural lighting of the building and also the outside territory and the landscape, because everything should be in a single light identity. And in the end, I want to mention the most popular reason why architectural lighting concepts aren't being implemented. It's because of the time of realization. For example, in our studio we can come up with an architectural lighting concept and release an album with a necessary section in a month, if none of the related companies keeps us on the site. You need to take another month for a good electrical project. You can't do it faster. And the third thing to remember is that nowadays lamps are usually already customized for a different facades. You can't just buy them at the store on the way to a site. You will have to order them and wait for them to be made. And this is at least 1.5 or even 2 months will deliver it to the site. In total, it took 4 months. So you should remember the golden rule. If you get a construction permit, take care of the lighting project. I hope this video was helpful. I am waiting for your questions in the comment sections below. Thank you for watching, subscription and your royal like.